What's up, guys? Today we're talking about Obsession, written and directed by Curry Barker. Bear purchases a trinket called a Wish Willow from a woo-woo gem store as a gift for Nikki, but he ends up using it to wish for her to love him more than anything in the world. If you know anything about the monkey's paw trope, this romantic tale is not going to end well. Before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and drop a spoiler warning, so now's your time to pause this video, go watch Obsession, then come back and let me tell you how to feel about it. Now, Curry Barker, I was not familiar with your game. The bleak tone is immediate as Obsession opens. Tension is dribbling from every single crevice, orifice of this movie. The opening is effective. Bear, Michael Johnston, is practicing how he's going to ask out his lifelong crush Nikki on a diner waitress. Close friend Ian, Tomlinson, sits by idly judging and critiquing Bear's approach, or lack thereof. This framing keeps a lot of space in the background behind Bear and always plenty of movement to keep your eyes darting. It's an effective intro because we know from here the rest of the movie will be a daring performance full of false verisimilitude. Michael Johnston imbues Bear with this awful woe is me incel energy that is so palpable. The only thing I could think of when he spoke was the SpongeBob line. Oh brother, this guy stinks! It's a terrific performance, and I see many people across the internet framing Inde Navarrette's Nikki as the film's villain, the manic pixie dream girl gone mad. Do not be fooled. If you think anyone besides Bear is the bad guy here, you have some serious internal work to do. Johnston's energy is desperation to the max. You're just cringing anytime this guy talks. The whimper in the back of his throat is maddening. Could not shake how much he looks like Dave Franco, Billy Crudup, and Walking Phoenix thrown into a blender. It's a great performance, but it's matched and bested by indies. The setup is similar to Hereditary, but not in a way that is bothersome or weighs the movie down tonally. It never over-explains itself, instead smartly using sound and visual to explain to the audience why things are happening, and sometimes even leaving us to figure out the specifics. There are some unexplained things, such as why Bear is living in his deceased grandma's house and all the pill bottles being left around, but medicine being unable to cure an unbeatable illness, obsession you could say, might be more important to the narrative than you think. So when it becomes apparent that Bear is never going to actually go the distance and share his feelings with Nikki, instead of giving her the Wish Willow gift he picked up at the gem store, God, can I just say that Barker threw in this element? The movie's just full of these choices. The coastal music store, the uniforms, it feels refreshingly curated. He makes a wish for her to fall in love with him. It's so simple. The way Barker's characters make choices, their motives, emotions, feelings, it all feels so specific and well written into the script. Characters feel full, weirdly natural feeling, like you've been dropped into their reality. Inde Navarrette puts in a whirlwind, tour de force performance as Nikki. While I don't view her as the bad guy of the film, her performance is absolutely diabolical. The way she moves, flails, and gyrates her body reminds me of the work Lily Rose Depp did in Eggers's Nosferatu, but her facial expressions are really what stick out. There's a scene in the movie where Bear leaves her at home and the camera lingers long enough that you start to think the reel is broken, only for it to pan down to her doing something disgusting. Seriously, this movie goes the distance with its blood and viscera. I would place her pretty close to the precipice of female horror performances, not that far from Toni Collette. Navarrette puts in tremendous work, and the tightrope walk of violence, emotion, and terror she balances is lights out. This is why her scenes with Bear are perhaps the most frightening of the film. Many things came to mind watching one scene in particular where Barker's brisk edit cuts from their cringe-inducing dinner conversation to Bear straddling Nikki's basically lifeless body, the camera resting just long enough on her face that you can start to see the person who is trapped inside and suffering. It is so chilling. I started thinking about how the movie is an exploration of Get Out's sunken place idea, a disgusting reflection of the manosphere communities, and how there are going to be a lot of straight men watching this movie that empathize with Bear's entitled "Why won't she love me, I'm such a nice guy" nature. Kinda like how people reacted to Craig in the movie Friendship. It is despicable some of the behavior Barker subjects us to, but the commonplace nature of it is even more frightening because I started to think that there are many other women in Barker's cinematic universe who have been manipulated by the Wishing Willow. There's also a strong trafficking connotation that I couldn't shake watching this, and the lighting in this movie was incredibly effective. Typically, nighttime photography in modern movies is dull and eye-squintingly difficult to look at. There are some moments where I was like, just light them a little bit more, but overall the film has a distinct visual style and this element enhances it. Nikki's shadowed figure is truly frightening. There are so many shots of people sitting in the left or right of the frame inside a car with light reflecting on the windows that create such notable tension. This is eventually paid off with Sarah's death, which was laughably brutal. Just like, what the Curry? Cinematographer Taylor Clemens is in large part the reason this movie looks so unique, and the lighting team greatly aids in the movie's impact, punch, and humor. This is a really funny movie. I can't speak to why or what's broken in me that I laughed at some pretty despicable things, but the framing device of the obsessed girlfriend just lends itself so well to tension. The party scene where Nikki goes off the rails and pulls Sarah's chair back in order to be the one Bear has to kiss, it's just, God, so good. All of the actors in that scene are amazing too, as you can sense their body language shift with Nikki's presence. Especially darkly humorous is the way the cat's body continues to reappear in these deeply unsettling ways. Anyone care for a sandwich? I don't know, I got a strange hankering. The Gen Z customer service bit is so good it feels ripped out of a skit Barker would have uploaded to TikTok. But a lot of the humor of the movie, I'm realizing, was just a reaction to how palpably tense and scary it felt. The sound design team works wonders at creating a hellscape sound mix to match the film's increasing terror. I'm anxiously awaiting Rock Burwell's score to drop because its dark, synthy vibrations worked wonders at building on that dreadful ambiance. Being that Barker has a background on YouTube, it should be no surprise that his editing style is pretty perfect here too. I never felt like any scenes lingered for too long, each cut adding momentum and tension to the proceedings. Much of the humor wouldn't work without the ways they cut these scenes. The movie does feel a little long in the tooth at times, so another pass through the editing bay would have had this thing really humming. Rarely does modern horror release and seem to be able to actively engage with the present culture as well as seem prescient for what's to come in the genre moving forward. The impact of Obsession will be felt during the runtime, but it wasn't until the credits rolled after one of the most bleak endings I've seen in a movie recently that the true terror of the movie hit me. As my friends and I left the theater, we were all like, okay, that movie was scary. I mean, that's kind of how it hits Nikki at the end. It's blunt force trauma. Obsession ends very similarly to the OG Texas Chainsaw 2. The heroine is alive, covered in blood, but at what cost? It's just a chainsaw dancer in the wind. But this does bode well for Barker's pending reboot. With incredible acting performances, a script that feels detailed and personal, set and prop design choices that are perfect and honestly iconic, like that tune that plays when they open the one Wish Willow box will haunt you. Obsession makes it clear that Curry Barker's vision is uncompromising. He could very well be the next defining director of the horror genre, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. What did you think of Obsession? Was it too stressful or scary for you, or did you find its unique blend of romantic nightmare fuel to be as brilliant as I did? Leave all the comments below, and before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time, long live Nikki, long live Sandy, and long live Curtis Reviews.